This week in the League of Legends, we've got a brand new patch for everyone to play with and enjoy. Additionally, the update to Tristana is out. We've also got a nice selection of brand new skins. All this and more on the Spastic Gaming Web Show.
This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. This is an ongoing show. We talk a little bit about everyone's favorite MOBA-style battle game.
Patch 5.2, I believe it is.
Yeah, but first things first, in that patch we have Tristana.
Tristana got her update, and I haven't actually seen anybody play it. I played her a couple of times. Very, very fun. I do like her new mechanics to her E.
Yeah, the explosions.
Yeah,
is fun.
Like,
I really like comboing that with a good CC, and just being like, okay, blow up time. It makes her really have that dueling power outside of her ult that I think she always needed. Because before, what would you do? You would jump on him, and that's the only burst that you had. So now that you can combo that jump on with that timer, jump on him, and then if all else fails, then you ulti. I like having your ulti as your last resort rather than your fight winner. I think that's a good thing.
Well, and the addition to if you kill someone with the jump, it refreshes the cooldown so you can jump on someone else. It's just like, well, I'm just going to keep following your team and slowly leaving.
I remember seeing a video of that, just pogo sticking across the river.
Was that the one with the DuckTales theme to it?
I think so, actually.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, like an old video. Oh my gosh. But yeah, now, what do you think? What do you like about her?
I really like the fact that they didn't really change what everybody enjoyed about Tristana. They just updated her to have a little bit more aggressive kit and actually have more utility than, say, other AD carries that are out there that all have like working abilities where it's just like, all right, I have an ability that just does a small dot. I have one that increases attack speed. I have one that's a jump, and I have one that's a knockback.
I think the thing everyone's going to miss, though, is the reduced healing. I think that was... I mean, I talk a lot about, oh, good, she has this training power. In the lifesteal meta, she did really good.
Yeah, she was a huge counter.
Because it was just like, hey, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting that lifesteal in half was insane, because on big crits, you're getting 100, 150 health back.
Not only that, but like very, very heavy like healing characters, or like a team with a really good hero like Tarek or Sona, she'd just be like, I'm just going to shut this guy down. You're not going to stop me, and I don't care.
It's pretty messed up, but
she's great.
Now that she has that, she has a little bit more easy to predict burst. There's a lot less hidden power there, and I think that's going to be a lot more conducive to newer players and a lot more conducive to picking her in maybe not the optimal matchup for her. And I think it's just going to be more fun to play.
Yeah, I had a blast playing her. But we'll see. A lot of people are still up in the air about her. But I
very funny.
2 in a row.
What do you give her?
She hasn't changed enough. I would say that she's still a solid character. I can't really give a number.
Well, rank the things that have changed.
The things that have changed is her increased jumping and the refresh time over
some of her kit.
And
lore, character aesthetics, voice.
Design-wise, great. Character-wise, she sucks compared to Tristana.
Yeah. So, what number does that mean?
7?
All right. Kit-wise, more fun, less hidden power. I think it's a lot more clear-cut, so I'm probably going to give it an 8 there. I don't like the fact that they're taking vicious wounds away from a lot of characters. I dislike that.
We're soon probably going to see that, just a mechanic that's removed.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but so it goes. Design-wise, she's a lot more clean. We talked about kind of the Asura look before, and I like that they're kind of unifying Yordle aesthetics at long last, which is good. They're taking a relic away from a far bygone era. I hate the character voice. So as far as the new character update, I'd probably just go kind of a middle of the road and just 5. Because her voice is the thing you hear the most, and it's just not fun to listen to.
And it's not just us with our nostalgia glasses, because we've heard the old Tristana's voice for a while, but it fit her. She was a very crazy, like,
not
gung-ho.
even that she's crazy. She had emotion and inflection. This new character, she sounds samey. She doesn't really have a lot of spunk in her voice, and it doesn't really match the character. It sounds like the person just phoned it in.
And is it just me, or is every weapon have to have a name now? Because her cannon has a name. It's like, because Jinx had a crazy, let's name our weapons because it's funny type thing. It's just like, come on, can you just have a gun without a name? Honestly.
Cataline is next.
Ugh.
I call this Snipey Wipey. Ooh. I want to see what Lucian's guns have names.
Yeah, but
Misfortune's guns have names.
Does Jace's gun hammer have a name? Justice.
I mean, the weapon is named, but I don't think it's a personal name. It's just a mechanical name.
Okay.
We're getting hung up on this. Okay. The patch dropped 5.2.
Can we have a moment of silence for our long lost friend, Deathfire Grasp?
Oh, Deathfire Grasp.
So Deathfire Grasp was removed. The reasoning for it was the original intention of the item was to essentially destroy very high HP tanks and give casters a chance to kind of burn them down. And over the seasons, it's become an assassin tool for like a lot of characters like Talon, Eve, a lot of AD carry mages. LeBlanc is one of them. And they said that this item is far enough away from its intended purpose that there are other items available, and it just... It kind of adds way too much damage on the top end of certain characters, so it doesn't have a place anymore. And it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, just characters like Vigar and Mordekaiser, they're just SOL.
6 years, 2009 to 2015.
Yeah, it's pretty wet and wild.
Wild and crazy.
Kage's lucky pick on early game Kygar. You got a Meki Pendant Kage's, and you just hold it as long as you can. Build that pick into a book, and then you make that book to a DFG, and then you use DFG, Q, ulti to secure your first 3 kills, and then you only need the DFG and the Q. Oh, I miss those days.
Yep.
Anyway.
Other news.
Other changes. Ahri. Kind of a big nerf.
Yep.
So Orb of Deception got a buff. Ahri now gains massive movement speed while her orb is traveling, but it decays very quickly. So, more mobility. I think she already has too much.
That will be.
That's just me.
It's good for like kind of moving out of the way to kind of rearrange yourself into different situations. Like if you're trying to cut someone off or extend the time of the hit, which is an interesting thing they want to do.
Yeah. So, big changes to W. Foxfire will only go to a target if it will not die from the current Foxfire intercepting the target, which is crazy AI. The damage base went up slightly, but the time between each firing was slightly increased. Now this is the big one. Charm no longer increases the damage targets take from her by 20%. That's massive.
And at the end, you only get a additional 20%
and a 0.15 increase in ability power, which is pretty nice, but not 20% damage lost on your burst combo. Nice, because normally charm, dash, 3 Foxfire charges, dash again, and maybe if you're really good, you can fire off a Q. Now your burst is way down, and DFG is gone. So you're going to be leaning really hard on Leandry's.
And Spirit Rush is a little bit more forgiving when dashing through terrain for all those people that don't know how to dash through terrain.
I love seeing Ahri dash into terrain and seeing her drill into the side of a thing and just not go through it. And then have to burn another charge to get through. So I'm like, oh, you built the hole and you went through it. Okay. Another big nerf, Akali. Okay, this is hilarious.
This is so hard.
I hated Akali back in her heyday. I hated her. Shadow Dance, 700 reduced range. I'm sorry. Down to 700 range, and Crescent Slash no longer procs Mark of the Assassin. That is insane. Do you know what that means? That means she has to auto-attack to get Mark of the Assassin off, which means she actually has to fight people.
So she can't just throw down the smoke and just kind of dance around and just, yeah.
You can't just Mark of the Assassin, dash, E, dash to a minion, which is crazy. Crazy.
Gives her that time where she has to be vulnerable, which is hilarious.
Oh,
and a lot of people are still trying to do that, so they just kind of go, slap, bye!
You take like 40 damage, you're like, alright, see you later.
Annie, she got some really interesting changes. Her Molten Shield...
It got nerfed.
It got nerfed, but Summon Tibbers got some buffs to it. When Annie casts Molten Shield, Tibbers gains 300% movement speed that decays over 0.75 seconds.
So very quick movement speed burst. But... he also gets Molten Shield while Annie has it up, which means the damage return and the increased resistances, which is pretty crazy.
Really, it's kind of a cool change that you'll be sharing abilities, and I wonder if this is going to bleed into a future champion where they're going to have this bleed in between.
Now, the nice thing is that Tyber's got a reduced collision box, which means he's going to be tanking less targeted abilities, less skill shots, and he's not going to get stuck on things.
That's probably the best thing, is the fact that he just, a wave comes up, he's like, well, I'm useless, goodbye, friends!
Some slight changes to the Conquering Sands gentleman, Azir. Nothing really crazy, just bug fixes. They're trying to make the 3 soldiers stab thing better. Cassiopeia, increased mana costs because she's really strong.
Oh, everybody's like, oh, she's not going to be that good.
I love her.
Yeah,
I love her.
She's been
Because
dominating.
there's no reason not to just spam everything, because you get more damage for spamming. So they want to make it less that.
Oh, the poison!
Huge changes to
Fizz.
Urchin Strike, huge damage. Nerfs in its ratio and its flat damage. And it no longer deals damage to people if they move out of the way when he's landing. So you actually have to get to them for it to deal damage. It doesn't do it before you get to them, which is crazy. Seastone Trident no longer applies Grievous Wounds, which hurts.
There it is again, that it's just no longer something they want to have in the game.
Now, the initial on-hit does the percentage health, and the bleed is now based on ability power, which is pretty wet and wild.
And it's percentage of missing health as magic damage.
Yes, indeed. So, I don't know, pretty good. It's going to be a lot more effective as just a tap nuke rather than a slow bleed.
Chum the Waters, now... the pineapple. With Chum the Waters, Fizz's damage against targeted champions is increased by 20% for 6 seconds. Chum the Waters is not affected by this bonus.
So pretty good. You land that and you jab them with Seastone Trident real quick, you're going to be doing 10% of their health. Easy.
Yeah, so you Chum the Waters, dash in, Shark deals the damage, and he's still going to have that damage after he comes back down, so you'll be able to kind of stack that in another Seastone Trident or something. Yeah. So
there's nothing to complain about as far as getting 10% HP off of them every auto attack, as long as it's up. It's pretty wild.
So they pretty much removed the Grievous Wounds and just kind of had this frontal damage coming off of his ult.
Rek'Sai got nerfed some more. Base damage on Queen's Wrath dropped by 10-20 points at max level. Unburrow damage reduced by 60 points at max rank. Enemy knockup duration reduced pretty significantly
from 10.
But that means you can get an additional knockup after 8 seconds instead of 10 seconds. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of nerfs. Huge buff to Fizz. Huge buff to Fizz. And fun stuff as far as items go.
Yeah, Ether Wisp has now 100 gold cheaper, and now there's just kind of this thing where they're kind of,
they're basically rolling back the prices on a lot of AP items now that DFG is gone.
Yeah.
So Blackfire Torch. Oh my god.
They removed Blackfire Torch too? We didn't see that. We didn't get
that's because it's for Twisted Tree Line. Who cares?
Oh. Giant's Belt, a really interesting change. It now costs 600 gold, and it builds off a Crystal Ruby. So essentially it's still 1,000 gold, but there's an item in between to give you health, so you're not saving up for a big item, you're building up into it. So the change is...
That's a good change.
Yeah, it's a really good change. It's like, alright, do I want to get health or do I want to build other stuff? It's like, well, now I can go Crystal Ruby, I can go into Giant's Belt.
Is a huge thing. When I used to play Garen top all the time, even if I got First Blood and I was doing really well in lane, there was a huge discrepancy in my power level as I saved up money to get my Sunfire cape. As I would usually go to the Giant's Belt because it's such a huge leap. But again, I was waiting for...
a long time.
Yeah. Well, back in that day, it was 1,100 gold. So just waiting for that was just killer. But now that I can be like, Ruby Crystal.
Yeah.
All right, I'm up.
And you can even, it's like, okay, I don't really need the health right now. I could probably build into cooldown reduction, or I can go into a catalyst. So there's other ways you can go with it just by buying that one item, and it makes it so you have more options.
Yeah. Ruby Crystal definitely needed more options because it's only got like 16.
Yeah. Hextech Gunblade, the damage and ability power.
Because they said, while we're nerfing Akali.
Well, so ability power went up to 80, attack damage went down to 40, and lifesteal went to 10%. So it's like, we're going to buff the attack damage, or I'm sorry, Pineapple. we're going to buff the ability power, get rid of the attack damage, and you'll get a little less health.
He said, while we're nerfing a collie, let's just go full blast.
And finally, after such a long time, Rod of Ages will actually show the stacks on it on the item.
Oh, Rod of Ages will no longer lose its stacks permanently when it's sold. So if you rebuy it quickly, you get your stacks back.
Ooh. Nice. So a lot of good changes there.
And Porzerod's Portal. So they got mad and tinkered with it. They nerfed the Void Spawn a little bit. They gave him a lot more armor. A lot less magic resistance.
10 less health.
A lot less health per level. A lot less base health. A lot more damage to minions. But a lot less damage per level. And damage per level to structures and minions. And Void Spawn will gain a lot of bonus damage. And armor based on the summoning champion. So they're very tanky if you're very tanky. Which talks into that whole thing we talked about last week of it being a really good pickup on Sejuani, on Nautilus, on any kind of bunker character. So that's even better. And I wonder if you can snapshot it. Like if you, let's see, you get it on Leona, when you pop your magic resistances on your shields and stuff, will they maintain that armor after the buff falls off is my question.
I don't know. That's something that would be something to test.
Look into the game. Dragon, he's a lot scarier at a lot further range.
Yeah, 500 range now, so you can't really exploit him as much, and his increased attack speed.
But reduced base damage. So he hits a lot faster from a lot further, but not quite as hard.
Nemesis Draft will be added into the game soon. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see the shenanigans. We might have to do a video of it.
The rage of a mage shall be confirmed. Yeah. And that's really it. We've got the skins we talked about last week. Arclight, Vel'Koz, Warring Kingdoms Katarina,
Warring Kingdoms Nid, and Firecracker Jinx.
Yeah, the two Warring Kingdom skins, they're temporary, right?
Yes.
And are the old Warring Kingdom skins coming back for this event?
I bet they are, just like any other event now. They're not really going to have skins that are gone forever.
Well,
unless they're specifically said. Yeah.
So, yeah, you can get those. You can get the Firecracker skins and the cool icons, as well as enjoy the texture updates.
Yorick looks really cool.
Vayne looks really good. Vayne used to be so pastel for what she was, and I'm loving the new look.
Swain looks really good, too. There's just a lot of cool art changes. And I was playing the other day, and I just remembered, it's like, wow, I forgot I was playing League for a second. It's just, like, I'm still getting used to the whole map. It's just a new map, and everything's kind of throwing me off, but...
And finally, those new skins we talked about. We've got Heartseeker Verse, which will be right alongside Annie for Valentine's Day. I'm absolutely certain of.
His backing animation where he literally is like sitting there in this weird pose floating upwards.
Just like Cupid's bow, why not?
Goodbye. Then we kind of teased this. We said that there was a weird splash art that was found in the PB a month ago, and this was for 4 new skins. 2 of them are for a Marauder subgroup, and the other is for the...
The Marauder skins are awesome.
Yeah, Inquisitor. So for the Marauder group, we have Marauder Ash and Marauder Warwick.
I hate Warwick, but the Ash skin looks really nice.
It's kind of, if anybody remembers the White Knight Chronicles, that RPG, this is kind of like the armor where it's just very, very like winged, dark, a lot of like kind of indents to it.
Daedric.
Yeah, very, very cool. Black on red. Armor sets always look good. Warwick, very, very like metallic, got like Wolverine claws.
Warwick's model is definitely showing its age.
Yeah. And then...
You're just going crazy.
Yeah, I just kind of had like this giddy moment. I was like, should I edit out? No. We have Inquisitor Nautilus, and oh my god, he looks so cool. He looks like Quicksilver, like kind of like Mercury melting and shifting.
He's a Mer overlord.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. And then we have Inquisitor Sivir, which again, really, really cool. Slick silver, very, very popping, very, very detailed, considering the light color palette. So,
and her hair thing is weird.
It is weird. It looks like just like a tuft. And finally, the last skin we want to talk about is something that was teased through email. A lot of people got an email. I got this email for DJ Sona. And in this email, all we got were 3 music tracks named Kinetic, Concussive, and Ethereal.
Ethereal.
And I'm hoping this skin is a really, really expensive legendary skin where she doesn't shut up, and it's just constant
right now
dubstep.
you can hear the bing, 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 bing. So I just want, the music.
She turns the corner and they're just blasting dubstep.
Just popping in and out of the butchers.
And then it just, like, depending where she is on the map. Bye, Matt! Just in lane, and she's just ducking in and out, and you just...
She flashes on top of you.
Just turns the corner in jungle, and there's a whole group of people there, and just like, no, Sona, no!
Oh, jeez. But we don't know what the skin actually looks like, we just have the music.
And kind of the helmet, which is really cool. It's like a kind of like a Deadmau5 style DJ helmet.
I don't know if that's Deadmau5. I'd say that's more
a Deadmau5 style.
Cyberpunk.
And her hair's like all sound waves.
Like, what are those guys' names?
Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. That's what I think it looks like, not Dude Moss. Dude Moss.
I'm excited for it. There's possibilities with the skin, and anything that I can get a good chuckle out of will be.
Because we definitely don't have sort of a raver-themed Sona skin yet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait!
That skin's good, but...
It's good, but it's old.
It's old. It's not the new hotness.
I'm going to move on to our own section now. We've been running kind of long, so we've only got one good question here.
Do I have to read it?
I don't know which one it is.
It's that one.
Fuck! It's from Leonardo Vinicas. He says, Light from Riot Games is thinking about the new server solo queue and team builder for ranked game matches. So what do you guys think about this and how it will work during band selection? So what he's talking about is, obviously for team draft, is you can pick your champion, what role you want to play and all that, and then what you want to do. And obviously in ranked this would be different because, you know, if you're saying, hey, I want to play Nautilus, and then they ban Nautilus, like, what are you going to do? So, personally, what I would say, what would work in ranked, is maybe you can pick between, like...
3 to 5.
2 to 4 roles, and then say, you know, this is the type of team composition I would want to be with. And then from those 2 roles, or 2 to 3 roles, you would be slotted with a team. It would be like, okay, 2 of these guys can play ADC. We don't know which ones, but they can play it. So even if, like, 4 ADCs get banned, one of them can do it. I'm sorry, marksman. These guys can play jungle. So I don't think... I think a team builder for ranked would be less like, I will play this character, you will play this character, because there's a lot of counterplay that goes on. So being able to just say, you know, okay, there are 2 potential supports on this team, there are 2 potential marksmen, 2 potential mid laners, and having a team of players that actually have a potential to do X amount of stuff, I think would be a better option as far as a ranked team builder, and I think it would make for more happy people.
I think if you queue in, instead of picking one designated spot, just show some of the champions that you are preferred to play, like either show champions that they have high win rates with, ones that they prefer, just kind of like, all right, I'm going to queue in, I want to play marksman, here are some of the champions I'm good with.
Well, see, that, I don't know, that's kind of weird, because sometimes there are gimmicky things. When your character gets nerfed, all of a sudden there's this artificially raised, you know, expectation. Win ratios are bad because if you have a bad time, or if maybe you're just not up to snuff with what everyone wants, only the high win ratio people are going to get picked. I think it should have nothing to do with past performance. You should just say, I can do X, X, and X, or I'm sorry, X, Y, and Z, and assign you with a dude that can play A, B, and C, and another dude that can do M, N, and O. We'll just put them all together, and maybe another dude can play N, X, and B, and you just mix that together so you have at least 2 guys that can play every role. I think that would be way better and more cohesive to the game. But that's my thought. That's what I would see as a team builder for ranked, because again, you can't just say, I play a really good Tristan Cat. Okay, well, they pick a team that's not really good for you to play Tristan Cat. Then what are you going to do? Right, so it needs to be more role-based and less champion-based. That's what team builder for ranked would be for me. And
something that would just show, it's like, I'm skilled in this kind of role. Like, anything from just having some sort of reward system, because,
well,
like,
again,
Heroes of the Storm has like when you level up a character to a certain level, you get the portraits for it. There needs to be kind of a thing where you show which characters you have experience with, not good or bad, just I've played this for a certain amount of time, gotten it to a certain rank.
In League, when you're queuing up for ranked, you're sort of, this is my experience level, is your rank.
Right.
So if you're gold 2 or you're gold 5, that tells a lot about a person. It might say you're lucky, it might say you're this, but ultimately it's not about what you're good with the character, it's your general game knowledge is what makes you good at the game, rather than just saying, oh, I'm a Karthus main. Okay, you could be a garbage Karthus, but if you're a Diamond 2 and you're a Karthus main, you're probably pretty good. So I'd say your rank being there and being queued with people of the same rank is good enough. That's what I would think.
Yeah, but with Team Builder, it really just kind of forces people into like this kind of like funnel where you're not really able to communicate as well as you'd say just going into a normal solo queue.
But again, if you know at least your team is going to be okay, you know that people aren't going to be arguing for positions. That's a whole 30 seconds of time you don't have to waste. But that's just me. We're going to move on to our own section. Well, we're already on our own section. Pineapple. And we kind of rambled on that question for a while, so we're only going to do the one. We love questions on the show. If we have time for them, we try to answer at least 2. If you have any questions for us about the show, about League of Legends, about what we're doing, about our Patreon, about anything really, we'd love to answer it. You can post it down in the comment section below. You can send it to our email. It's spasticgaming@gmail.com. Post it on our Facebook, Twitter, or on our website, which is getting tinkered with. But look forward to that. Patreon is up and running right now. We've got a couple of guys in there, and they're up to no good. We've got some crazy new stuff coming. I'm moving in a couple of days, and I'll get my Twitch stream set up, and I know one of our compatriots is doing that as well, so you might have some fancy stuff to look at.
And we might have recorded us playing PT, which was an interesting experience.
Kojima, no. But, yeah, lots of stuff on the horizon, guys. Look forward to it. Otherwise, it's been Axis.
And Water Elemental. Go football!
It's a part... My other kin on Patreon, and then there's a Patreon for me too.
And then there's a Patreon to support
me.
our
Sally
Patreon.
is fronting right now, and she's very nervous in front of microphones. Listen, God bless you.
I don't know what that was.